Hello! I thought it's time for a new video in another series that I'm also a game developer. I'm trying to use like Eclipse and Unity, but I'm usually using Gaming Studio, like as you can see here. So I'm going to make a tutorial series on Gaming Studio, like make a kind of game. I'm I'm usually making like platform games, but I'm I might try to make an RPG game too. I don't know. Uh, let's just start with a platformer game. I'm not good at explaining things, but I'm going to do as good as I can. So let's see how this goes. I'm just going to make some basic sprites. Can't really type same time as I'm talking. 32 by 32. This is my player sprite. I'm awesome at making players look. And just fill her in, put some black, and I'm done. And center it. Then I got like this sprite wall. You could name them exactly what you want and paint like what you want. I'm going to have this gray. Well, that's almost matching. That's nice. It's not centered. Now create our pair blocks. No, pair wall. Pair walls. And just okay with that. Then our obj wall, and set a sprite to sprite wall, and put the parent as pair walls. Now you will see why I'm doing this, like parenting that, when we're coding the player, object player, and put a sprite player, and add event, create event. Now we're going to like horizontal speed, so for speed equals to 0, vertical speed where speed equals 0, and then gravity grv equals 0.2. These are variables that I'm putting up to make the platforming game. Then move speed equals to 3 would be nice, and jump speed equals to 7. Now horizontal speed is going to be used for like our horizontal movement, left and right movement, and vertical speed is for up and down when jumping, and gravity. Gravity is what? Yeah, I will explain more. Now create step event, and add some code to it. Now, minimize that. Input left equals to keyboard check, and I want to use like the A key for this, but you could use VK left or Y if you would like. Doesn't really matter, but I'm staying with the A key. And for the right, it's pretty much the same thing, but the D key, for my case, you could choose exactly what you want, like VK right. Can't type. And then I'm going to have a jump, and I'm going to have VK space for that, so the space button. Then it's time for move, which is a variable we create here, which equal to left plus right. I didn't spell that correctly. You have to make sure to spell everything correct, because you could easily get some like errors, which isn't fun. It's not fun to have errors in a game. Usually doesn't go that well. And then we're gonna have hor speed the variable we created, and it equal it to move times move speed. That's the name of the variable, isn't it? Oops, it's down here. Yeah, as you can see, horse speed, and then make an if event where speed is less than 10. Where speed plus equals grab. Now this line of code makes that if vertical speed is less than 10, it starts off at 0. Then it's going to plus 0.2 as grab was put on 0.2 as you can see, which in the end makes the player fall down, and that's what you want. Now we could add some jumping. That is if place meeting x, y plus 1 par walls, and jump. And here we go with var speed equals negative jump speed. Now this is if it is 1 pixel under the character, if there's a block under character, then there will be it checks if there's a block under character, and it also checks if you're pressing the jump button, and if so, it's going to make vertical speed equals to negative jump speed. So it's pretty much the character jumps up 7 pixels per frame, and we're going to have like 60 frames. Usually, I'm usually doing with 60 frames. It's smooth, and I like when it's smooth. Either way, let's move forward. You can see here par walls. Now, if we would make like another, we make a duplicate of this wall 2, and make it green instead, and yeah, make a duplicate of that and change the sprite to that. Oops. Like so. Now these both act as walls because they both have the same parent that it checks for. If it would just take like obj wall instead, then it would just check for that instead of both of them. So if you're using many walls or blocks that you want the player to jump on and collide to, then you would use parents like this. It's efficient. Now if place meeting x plus huspa, what? I'm used to other kind of variables, but yeah. Y par walls. You could like make it look different. You could place them how you want, but I prefer that because I'm used to that, and that's what happens when you're used to something. You're usually doing it. And now, if there is something meeting under or like to that means left or right. Let's put a semicolon there. If left, then it's pretty much move speed times negative value, so that's move speed times -3, which returns this to a left negative value, and if there's right, which is a positive value, then it returns to +3, or like just 3 instead of the negative mark before, and it returns right. So it checks if there's block or like wall either left or right of the player. And now a while loop, while not place meeting x plus sine her speed y par walls. This is going to return like this is while there's no object to either left or right, it's going to run this code. That means x plus equals sine horse speed, and then we're going to return horse speed to 0 under that bracket. So yeah, this makes so that the character like moves left or right, either way, either of the horse speed values, if it's negative or positive, and then x plus equals horse speed. Yeah. Now if we would like run it, close everything down. Create a room first and go into settings and put 60 instead of 30 and put in object player and run. Hope there's no bugs. I'm good at fixing bugs. Then we would see there, you can move left and right now, but it doesn't fall or anything, you can't jump. And that is because we don't have any blocks out for him to fall on. We don't have any fall code or anything. If we would add y plus equals verse speed and test it again, press let's go up here and press that, then it would fall, but he falls for an infinite amount of time, and we don't want that. We want him to excuse me for my talking. If we would put blocks like that, could put some green ones too, just for the sake of explaining or something. He just fall through them. We don't want that. We want him to like fall on them, land on them, and to do that we do it like this: if place meeting, oops, not a capital M, if place meeting x comma y plus verse speed comma par walls. Just like the earlier with the horizontal speed, we could comment this out. Horizontal collisions, jumping, getting input variables, input keys. Yeah, that would be nice. And now we got vertical collisions. Can't spell. I'm a bit mad about that. And yeah, just like in the earlier code, but the x and y coordinates instead. X comma y plus sine verse speed par walls. Y plus equals sine verse speed instead, and return verse speed to 0. And now this checks if there's something under or above, and this also checks if while there's nothing under or above, it will fall down or up, either thing, and this returns it to 0, and that makes sure that the y coordinates is adding vertical speed to the values. So now he lands on it and can jump now. Now if we would like him to like turn around stuff, we could use my fantastic method. Face, wait, oops, face equals to 1. That means that is f face equals to 1 is facing right. F face equals to -1, he is facing left, like that. So this command change between 1 and -1. Now we'll go in here. I'm usually adding this. I will tell you in a second. It is because if you use this for the next amount of code we're going to write, then it would just don't work. I've tested this a lot of times. It is because it's like you can't have a negative value when you're trying to get a true or boolean true or false value. So facing directions. So f right, it will face equals to 1, and then else if left 2, it would face equals to -1. And this makes sure that that value changes. And now we're going to close this down and go into a draw event and go into control, add a control and code. Now there's two ways to do this. It's either draw self if you're using GameMaker Studio words. If you're using like GameMaker for Mac or something, you would have to do like draw sprite ext and sprite player subimage usually 0, x and y usually 1 1, 0 for rotation, -1 for the same color as you want, and yeah, that it. Now the Mac method that I'm using, I'm also developing programming on Mac with GameMaker for Mac. You could do it like it. If face equals to 1, then do this, and then else. You don't need to put an else if there. You like draw sprite, oops, ext, spr player at the subimage 0, x and y, and then here on x scale it's going to be -1 and 1, 0, -1, 1, like that. Now if we would run this, I think it works. I'm not sure. You could press F5 to run. Now it turns around. But then there's a if we like comment it out, Mac code, and close it off like that. Multiple line comments using that, the slash and star. Single line comment is just 1. Like double slash like that, so it doesn't get commented out like that. Now GM Studio version, Mac code, Mac version, take it, input instead, like that. Draw self, and then if face equals to 1, image x scale equals to 1, and else image x scale equals to -1. Now this pretty much turns out the same value. I will explain it in just a bit. It's pretty much the same thing, so it's no different. Just that this doesn't really work the same way as it should do in the Mac version. So I recommend this one if you're on Mac, and this one if you're on GameMaker Studio. because this one's more efficient in the Game Studio version, and this one's like the only way I've come up with to work. It's the fastest way I've come up with work to make it work. And yeah, now this if face is equals to 1, remember we put this, if face is equals to 1, he's facing right, and if face equals to -1, he's facing left. Face equals to 1, which returns that the image X scale, the scale on the left and right. If it's on positive, is like adding. If it would have 2, he would go. Wait a minute. It would be wider, and yeah, you could see the X scale is pretty much the width of him. And if we would go like 0.3 instead, it would be much smaller, like that, as you can see. So just 1 makes him the same width as it's planned to be, and then -1 the same width but facing the other way. And now if we don't have the center, if we would just have 0, 0 on this and run, you could see that he is flipping like that, which is not good. It's like teleportation almost. And we don't want that, because we want it to be like smoother and center it. So yeah, that's for that. And this was all for this episode. See you in the next one that will come out later. Yeah, this was Incunium Hampus. Please like, subscribe, and share if you want. It's your choice. Have a good day and live long.